Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you all how to do a different type of division. This division is what we call synthetic division. Now, what is synthetic division? Basically, synthetic division is an alternative to long division, but this can only be done when you're dividing by a linear term. Now, so this means I cannot use synthetic division if I'm dividing by, say, x squared minus 1. No, doesn't work. Or x cubed minus 4x squared plus 3x minus 7. No, can't do it. Long division is what you want to do if you are dividing by something that is not a linear term. If you have a linear term, though, synthetic is actually a good alternative that you can use. It can be a little tricky, though. So I'm going to show you something you can do here. Now, like I just said, synthetic division is simply an alternative to long division. And it basically makes it where you can do the problems a little bit quicker, but you have to be a little more mindful about what's happening here. Okay? So you're going to notice that if you watch the last video, that I'm going to actually work the same exact problems from the last video, but I'm going to use synthetic division instead. So if I don't get the same answers as I did in the last video, we know I screwed up somewhere. So, and I'm actually going to have the paper out here. In fact, here it is. So this is the work that I did on the last video and showing how I got to my answer using long division. So again, we're just going to do the same thing here. So to do synthetic division, you have to set it up a little differently. Synthetic division, first off, you want to take whatever you're dividing by, and you got to set it equal to 0. And you got to solve for x. So you got minus 8. So you get x equals negative 8. Basically, you're just going to use the opposite of this number here. So you'll notice I have negative 8, and I kind of put it in a little box here. Then, from there, we have to look at our equation or our expression that we're dividing into. Here we had x squared plus 3x minus 43. We're going to take the numbers from this equation. Now, some of you may ask, okay, which numbers? Because we have exponents too. Well, we're not going to deal with the exponents. We're just going to deal with the coefficients, which are the numbers in front of the variables, and the constants, the numbers that don't have variables behind them. So, number in front of x squared is 1, so I write 1 here. Number in front of x is 3, so I write 3 here. Number by itself is negative 43, so I put that on the end. Once again, I'm going to list this in descending order. So, if you don't list this in descending order, things will go wrong. Just letting you know. So, what I do here to accomplish synthetic division, first up, this number here comes straight down. Okay? So I'm just going to write 1 there. Then, what I'm going to do is you take the number you got out here, negative 8, and you're going to multiply it by this number, 1. So negative 8 times 1 gives me negative 8. Okay? Now, from there, we're going to add these two together. 3 plus negative 8 is negative 5. Then, same thing as last time. Now I'm going to take negative 8, though, multiply it by negative 5. And that's going to go here. So negative 8 times negative 5 gives me positive 40. Add this column, gives me negative 3. So the question now is, how the heck do I take this mess and turn it into this? Well, The answer to that is simple. What you do is you look at your highest exponent and you're just going to get rid of it. This is going to, the highest exponent this will have will be 1 less than the highest exponent that this is. So if the highest exponent is 2, then this will have an x that has an exponent of 1. Or in other words, x. Just x. The next one gets the next lowest exponent. Now, since we started with 2, we went to 1, the next number down is 0. So what happens when you have a variable to a 0 power? So like x is 0? Well, x is 0 becomes 1. So essentially what I'm saying here is we take negative 5 and multiply it by x is 0, which is 1. Or in other words, negative 5 times 1, which is negative 5. Now the very last part here is going to be either 0, which means it has no remainder at all, or it'll have some number there which accounts for our remainder. So, since there is a number here, we write negative 3 divided by, and what we divided the original function by, x plus 8. And notice, I just did a significantly less amount of work for the same answer. So there you go. Once again, this is simply an alternative to doing long division. Synthetic division, it takes a moment to get the hang of, but once you do get the hang of it, it usually starts falling into place very quickly. And there are some problems where it is much more efficient to do synthetic division over long division. I know a lot of people will probably prefer long division, but this is a good alternative. So, let's do the next problem. Again, I'm using the same problem from the long division video. So, if I don't get the same answer, we screwed up. Or I screwed up, excuse me. So, same idea. Bring 2 down, since it's the first thing. 7 times 2 is 14. Add. Negative 16 plus 14 is negative 2. Multiply. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Add. 5. Highest exponent was 2, so this gets an exponent of 1 when I put the variable beside it. So 2n. This has an exponent 1. Next one should have a highest exponent 0. Anything raised to the 0 power becomes 1, so this is just negative 2 times 1, or negative 2. Then, this should be 0, but since it isn't, that means we have a remainder. So I write 5 divided by, and what my divisor was over here, n minus 7. And that's it. Now, with synthetic division, you'll recall, or with long division, you'll recall we did a problem where we missed something. Something wasn't there. Synthetic division, you'll notice doing the same problem again, and once again, something isn't there. So, we have to account for that, just like with long division, though. So, if something's not there, you got to replace it with a 0. Now, in all honesty, it makes it a little easier in this case, in my opinion, because there's less to fool around with. So, let's take a look at this. So, 1 comes down, negative 5 times 1 becomes negative 5, bring it up, add the column, negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 5 becomes 25. Stop, add the column, this gives us 8, multiply negative 5 times 8 becomes negative 40, add the column, gives us negative 8. Highest exponent was supposed to be cubed, so next lowest is squared. So this becomes k squared. After k squared, we have just k. So this becomes negative 5k. After k, we get k0, or in other words, just 1. So 1 times 8 is 8. After that, that's where we get the remainder. Minus 8 over k plus 5. Once again, you'll notice if you can read through my god-awful handwriting, that I have the exact same problems, or it's exact same solutions here. So, and that is how you do synthetic division. I personally like synthetic division over long division for the simple fact that there is less really going on with synthetic compared to long. You know, there's a lot of places here that I can make a mistake. If you forget to put these parentheses on these, I guarantee about, I'd say 80% of you, if you don't put parentheses on that, will goof up, and you will only do 8 minus 8 and not do 32 minus 40. You'd add 32 and 40 and get 72. I would bet good money on that. I've seen it happen a lot. I've done it personally myself. So please be aware of that. You know. So anyways, that's it for this video. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, send me a message, leave a comment, and that's all I've got. Okay? So take care of yourselves, everybody. All right? Bye.